Hey, everybody. Welcome to, what is it, Friday, Fair Trade Friday. Sorry, I just got home. My hair, woo, wow. It's very humid here in sunny SoCal, and I was out today in it, and I walked in the door. I came back. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I came back, walked in the door, fed the cats, took the dog out, fed the dog, and basically put up my backdrop and sat down, and my hair looks like it went, and it's from the humidity. I was outside most of the day, and yeah, I'm a little whatever. Anyway, oh my gosh, I went to San Diego today for a potential client to get some baskets and beads, and it went really well. I'm not going to announce it yet because I don't know how many we're definitely doing it, but I don't know what amount of product and things, and I haven't even told Layla. So Layla, if you're listening, I will send you an email about it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so I went down there, and oh yes, of course, Meow Mix has to be on camera. This is Meow Mix. Meow Mix says hi to everybody. Hi from Meow Mix. Okay. Why do you always have to do that? Anyway, so that was pretty good. I took a lot of product. I took a basket full of different product, and they're excited, and I'm excited. So that's a positive thing that happened today. And of course, we'll talk about the product of the week, which I'm wearing. It's a Helen necklace. But I wanted to talk a little bit first about Meow Mix. Come on, dude. You look. Okay. I've always got some animal having to be like right underneath me. See, she doesn't like the dog, and the dog is always after her. Gracie's always like, hey, I want to see you, and I want to say hi to you, and I want to do this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, yeah, I don't want any part of it. So she's always growling, and she knows if she comes up around me that that's not going to happen. So she's on top of me. And when I'm working, I have cats laying all over my desk because that seems to be a safe space away from the dog. So I don't know. So she's sitting like right here in my lap, standing actually, and rubbing on me. Look, I can't, all right, I'll scratch you while I'm talking. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about negotiation. I have a friend that has something that she's going through, and I have to look further at her situation, but I always say, and it's in my book, everything's negotiable when you think like a negotiator. You have the ability to negotiate anything. Just because there's a contract that says one thing, or just because you've purchased and they have a whole bunch of terms and conditions or whatever, that doesn't mean that you can't discuss it. You don't have to go as far as like arbitration or taking it to court or whatever, unless you want to, unless it's serious enough. And that's part of the preparation phase in negotiation, preparing in advance. And a lot of people that are in fair trade, they have a heart for doing the fair trade type of things, but they might not be as versed in contracts and such. And it's something, whether you're in business, whether it's personal life, everything, you need to have some kind of ability to negotiate or somebody to help you. I've helped a lot of people, consulted with a lot of people to help them get money back from different things, some landlord tenant disputes, some other things, and the ability to, if you don't have that ability, or you're not confident with that ability, get somebody else to help you, because you don't have to take whatever is presented to you. Oftentimes, one of the things I talk about when I'm doing negotiation training is the importance of reading it. Most people don't read contracts or agreements. They'll just sign it, even if it's just a one-page document. I recently got an agreement for some sale of some products, and there was a thing in there that said, oh, if the products are stolen, it's your responsibility. And I thought, but if it's in your care and custody, why would it be my responsibility? And I can't help it, because I'm a contracts professional. I'm a contracts manager and negotiator. I'm handling and as most of you know, when I talked about when COVID happened and our sales started to go down and speaking kind of dried up, I started a job working for a defense contractor, and that's what I'm doing. I'm negotiating contracts and purchasing each and every day. So, and I've done it all my life. That was my job in the Air Force, as many of you know. I was a contract specialist in the Air Force. Sorry, my cat here has something on her. I don't know what that is. She's been scratching herself or something. Anyway, and so I automatically read things, and I sent a comment and said, oh, I don't understand why that would be my responsibility. And they came back and said, well, that's just standard verbiage. Okay, fine, that's standard verbiage. And my response was, I understand that, and I bet that probably nobody else reads it. They simply sign it without reading it and take no issue with it. But because of my background, I'm probably looking at it through a different lens and just wondering if we could change this. And they were amenable to changing it, and they did, and I was satisfied with the language, so I signed it. But just because you get an agreement, I've talked about this a lot about, and when I teach negotiation, I talk about everything's offer, acceptance, counter offer, and rejection of offer. So when you're given a contract, if you're in business or maybe you're buying something or whatever, you're giving a contract, or you're going for a job interview or whatever you're doing, you're going to, maybe you have fair trade products and you're going to put them in a store and they have an agreement that you have to sign, or whatever the case may be. That's an offer. They're making an offer to you. It's simply an offer. You can either accept it, reject it, or make a counter offer. You don't have to accept it. And being willing to walking away from it is basically a counter offer or a rejection of the offer. It's something that you have the ability to do. But the important thing to know is you may get really excited about something, some deal or some opportunity or whatever. And then they present you the information and you're just so excited that you want it so bad that you might agree to it. And then later, once the euphoria and the emotion wears off, you might think twice about, oh gosh, why did I do that? Why did I agree to that? So that's the important part of the preparation phase, the prepare in advance before you start discussing an agreement. You want to prepare and figure out what your bottom line is. Like my friend that has a situation with a product she purchased. She has to figure out what it is that she wants in the long run. Does she want a refund, a partial refund? Does she want the rest of the product? Does she want, what exactly is it that she wants? And those are things that you have to decide in advance. So when you're in the discussion phase, you don't get to a point where, oh gosh, I'm in the emotion, I'm going to say yes. If you've decided in advance, okay, this is my bottom line, this is my walk away point, this is exactly what I want, what I'll accept, what I won't accept, and then go forward before you have a discussion. If they don't meet your demands, or if they don't meet you somewhere that you're satisfied with and you feel it's a win-win for you, because all negotiation needs to be a win-win. And negotiation is simply discussions to agree upon a deal. And whether it's a multi-million-dollar deal, how to get your kids to do their homework, or where to meet for dinner, that's all negotiation is. And you're striving for win-win results. So if you're in the fair trade world, you're renting booth space for things, or maybe you're renting space in a store that you had to have your products. How are they going to pay you? How are they going to track the sales? You have to think about all those things, whether you're in a fair trade business or whatever business, even in your personal life. Whenever you get a contract of some type, you have to decide where your walkaway point is, what you want, what's the bottom line, how you're going to get there, and where you're going to walk away if it doesn't get to your bottom line. Say you have a budget for something that you want to purchase. You don't want to get in and be like, well, I want this so bad and it's 25% over the price that I wanted to pay. I'm going to pay it anyway. Then you agree to it and you walk away. It's like, why did I do that? That happens a lot in cars. Like when people buy cars And the salesperson in the car industry, they look for the person who's excited and who really wants the car, and they're pumping you up, and then you get it, you're excited about it, and you sign on the dotted line, you walk away, and you're like, oh gosh, why did I do that? Reminds me of a story, and I haven't told this story in a long time. My sister, when she was living with me, that happened to her. She had a car, she needed a car, and she went to, they had a car fair or something in the little town we lived in. It was in Alamogordo, New Mexico, the middle of nowhere, very small town. Holloman Air Force Base is there, so most of the people are either employed by the base or employed to do something for the base, or work at the base, things like that. And so she got all excited. The guy sold her a car that she really couldn't afford. And I was out on my bike. Actually, I was out with my son, and it was when I was still in the military, and I came home and there was this new car in the parking slot in my house, and I knew what she'd done, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And the payment was astronomical. And she's like, oh, I want this car. I'll work 3 jobs. I'm like, you're not going to be able to make it. And this was before, like nowadays, they're offering you the 3-day. I think they still offer that. I don't know if after COVID they stopped that, but this was a deal they were offering for a while. Like after 3 days, you could bring it back or whatever. Well, that wasn't the case. In that 3-day cooling off period, the law doesn't apply to cars. And so I'm like, we're going in there. After I talked to her, let me rephrase that. After I screamed, yelled, and hollered at her for a while, my neighbor, it's funny, my neighbor came around the corner because he was going to tell me, oh, you're not going to believe what she did. She got a car. He thought she was gone, and he came around the corner, and he saw me there, and I was fuming, and saw her there, and he turned around and went the other way. He's like, oh, I don't want to be in the middle of this. And they heard me kind of just screaming at her, and they called, and they're like, calm down. I'm like, I'm not going to calm down. They took advantage of her. I'm upset about this. So we went down to the car dealership, and I was so mad. And, they're like, oh, well, we're not going to, like, that 3-day thing doesn't apply to cars. And she's in the car. I mean, okay, she drove it from the car lot home, which was, I don't know, from the car lot to home and back was like 18 miles. So it wasn't even any miles put on the car. And the guy was like, oh, well, maybe we can get her in another car. I'm like, she can't afford this car. She can't afford any car you have on the lot. So do you want to repossess it now, or do you want to repossess it in a couple months when she can't pay for it? At least now you don't have any miles on it, so you can actually still sell it. But if you wait 2 months and she's been driving it and she can't pay it, and then you have to repossess it, and it's going to be a big mess. Do you want to do that? And we're going back and forth, and it's starting to get heated. And the sales guy is hanging in the doorway, and he slams the folder and he says, frankly, I'm getting upset. And I said, well, I'm already upset. And then I just got quiet and did the stop talking thing that I talk about in my Think Like a Negotiator book. And I just stared at him. And I use the thing like, I'm in the military. Do you want me to go to the legal office and say you're taking advantage of military families? Because that's what you're doing. You're taking advantage of somebody. She couldn't. I said, how'd you get her in this car? And he said, well, she had excellent credit. I'm like, I'm not talking about her credit. I'm talking about her debt to income ratio. She can't afford this car or any car you have on the lot. And we were going at it. And he's raised his voice, and I'd raise my voice with him. That's one strategy. Or you can remain calm. But I was hot, so I was escalating when he was escalating, when he slammed the folder, and then I'm already upset. And we sat there quiet. My sister's sitting over here, and she's like, I don't even know. The salesman's hanging in the doorway. The guy said, well, this is a small town. We're a small dealership, blah, blah, blah. They tore up the papers, and we walked out of there. I mean, my strategy, if he wasn't going to do that, I was going to leave the car and leave the keys and say, repossess it. Start the repossession now. She hadn't even had it not even 24 hours. So took the car back and left. And my sister was like, yeah, remind me never to tick you off. But so I say all that to say sometimes you get caught up in the excitement of something and you go ahead and sign on the dotted line, not being able to really pay for it or putting yourself in jeopardy. That's why you have to have a plan before you go in to discuss any type of agreement. You have to think about what it is you want and where your bottom line is. So if I was going in to buy a car, I would be like, okay, first of all, this is my budget, and I'm not going to pay any more than this dollar. I don't go by payments. I'm like dollar wise. I'm not going to pay any more than this. I'm not going to get myself into something I can't afford or that'll take me forever to pay off. And I make that decision ahead of time. So when I get there and I'm like, wow, this is a great car. I really like it, but too bad. It's like $5 grand, 10 grand over what I'm willing to pay. See ya, bye, get up and leave. And they'll either come down to my price or they won't. But I'm not going, I've already made the decision in advance, and I'm off on a tangent because I'm not even talking about the product of the week yet, but I just wanted to share that because you have to read the contract, understand that it's always simply an offer. It's an offer. Whether you accept it or not, that's your decision, and you make that decision before you go in and actually sit down with them. Anyway, that's my little negotiation tidbit for the week, because I had a situation where we had a contract and I questioned it, and they came back, like I said, with that's just the standard verbiage. Okay, that's great, but I'm not okay with the standard verbiage, and here's why. And I was nice about it. I said, I don't want to cause any problems, but my background's contracts. I don't think people probably read this. They probably simply sign it and fill out the information they need and send it back. But I can't do that because of my background. So we were able to negotiate. Anyway. All right, cool. So that's my negotiation tidbit. Hopefully you got something good out of that. But let's talk about the product of the week. Today's product of the week, I am wearing the white version of the Helen necklace. I have a few more here because I took these down with me to show some of the colors we have. These are all, actually, if you go to basketsandbeadskenya.com, you can see the ladies modeling these. Look, if you haven't done that yet, look up the Helen on basketsandbeadskenya.com, and you can see a lot of photos from our photo shoot when I was there last month, and the ladies modeling these items that they make. And this is named after one of our ladies, Helen. And I love Helen. She's got a lot of sass and attitude, but this is a really pretty pink one. You can kind of see, so the top part has kind of a weaved beading to it, and then there's a little embellishment here, and then the bottom it's all loose beads. So I've got a couple of the colors. This is kind of a gold multicolor. This is the pink. I'm wearing the white, and then of course my fave. Oh, I got a Dina necklace in here too. I actually need to put the pictures up of the ladies modeling the Dina as well. And then royal blue, my fave, and it's very lightweight. All the necklaces are really lightweight, and even the Layla that has all the beading across it, it looks like it'd be heavy, but it's really not. So these are really nice. You can go check it out on the website. There's a lot of new colors that I brought back, and those are all up there ready for you to check out. And it's a longer, so you can see that it hangs longer. I had somebody asking me about length of necklaces earlier, so I'm going to measure this one. I don't remember if I have this on the website or not. So it's about 15 inches roughly. So from it hangs 15 inches. So it's a nice embellishment to an outfit. I mean, I've got it going over my Baskets and Beads t-shirt, but you can wear it over solid colors and or even multicolor. If you have a color like this in your outfit, you can pull that color out by adding this. So this is a really nice necklace that I think I've had these since the beginning, and they sell very well, so I keep ordering more. And the great thing that's happening now is more and more people are interested in in wearing jewelry again because they're going out and able to interact with people, and people want to look good. And so they're going out. You can also pair it with a paper bead bracelet, or one of the single strand paper bead bracelets, or one of the slinky wrap bracelets. So see, I've got white kind of capris on. So I got the whole black and white thing going here today. So, and here's the biggest white of all is this. I'm a white hair. So I got my white hair. It goes against my black shirt, and then I got some different stuff on. But I always like to wear one of my Kenya bracelets. It just reminds me of my second home, my home away from home. It seems like so long ago that I was just there, but it was just last month. It's not even been a month since, a little over a month since I returned. And I'll be talking on Swahili Sunday about I'm going to see if Layla can jump on for Swahili Sunday, because they're still shut down where the ladies are. And we are still raising funds for, we're now raising funds for school fees, like school uniforms and such, and also for food packs, because now that things are shut back down, like I've said before, this is how the ladies, they would either lay a thing out on the street, or they just walk up the street like this with the beads in their hands. But now that the markets are all shut again, and that's supposed to be until, I think they're going to make another decision. I think it's the end of this month or something. Curfew is at 7 o'clock. So from 7 p.m. to I think 4 or 5 a.m., nobody can be on the streets. So they're right back to where they started with COVID, and they're unable to earn any income there. And I'm working on different things to place more orders, but it's still not to sustainability. So we are still raising funds to make sure that they have food until it gets to a point where they're able to sell there. And in addition to selling there in the town, we also want to get their products into the different resorts, but the resorts aren't open. I shared before, when I was there, we were at Diani Beach, which is in the Mombasa area. And we stayed at a family-owned place, but one of the guys on the beach was telling us all the other hotels were shut. And I think I shared this statistic just about every time I talk about it, but the number 2 revenue generator from foreign currency is tourism. And tourism's taken a $1 billion, I think it's a $1 billion hit, because they have all the resorts on the coast, and then they have them like places like Masai Mara and other places to go on safari. So with unable to operate with tourism, that's really significantly not only impacted the businesses, but also all the people that work at those businesses. So they're all shut, they're unable to work. So unfortunately, that's the circumstances there. We're praying that it gets better, but right now, like I said, we're still raising money to make sure that they have food, and when their kids go back to school, that they're able to get uniforms and school supplies and possibly school fees. So basketsandbeadskenya.org, if you would like to donate. That's something that we're going to continue to do until we work back to sustainability. One of the things that happened, we lost some of our wholesale customers. They actually went out of business. And so that put a damper on the ability to place orders, but that's kind of turning the corner, and we're starting to build back up again. I had reached out to one company, and they came back and said, "Oh, your revenue wasn't enough last year." And I'm like, yeah, COVID kind of, why don't you give us a chance? Because COVID really tanked our sales. So I don't know what your minimum is, but here's the only product that I'm looking to provide for you. Let's talk about it. I haven't heard back from them yet. I'm just praying that they give us a chance with that. And anybody else that I come in contact with and work on getting some wholesale orders. So And if you're listening and you're somebody who would like to have if you're in SoCal, I can come do a party at your house where I tell the story about the ladies, or maybe you could invite me to your small group at church or your church. Like if you have a women's event or something like that, I'm happy to come speak and share the story and bring some of the products so people can peruse and buy. And then also, if you're somewhere else and you want to have a party yourself, we're working on doing a type of thing where you can get a little pack and actually have your own party and sell and make some money yourself. So you would buy wholesale and then sell at retail. If you're interested in that, you can get in touch. You can PM on Facebook or eldana@basketsandbeadskenya.com. And if you're interested in any of that. But again, the food packs, we're still raising funds, basketsandbeadskenya.org for that. Okay, so this Sunday, last Sunday, I completely spaced out Swahili Sunday. I was going to an event in Irvine and I was setting up the tent and I forgot to set my alarm because I got there at 8, I got there before 8, setup was starting at 8. And I got kind of into setting up. I was going to stop the setup and do a quick Swahili Sunday, but I completely forgot about it until about 11 o'clock when I was like, oh, it's Sunday. I forgot Swahili Sunday. So this Sunday, I won't forget, and I'm going to start the Go Pink Rules of Engagement series that I talked about on Swahili Sunday, and we'll go from there. So definitely going to be doing that here from my hacienda. Won't be going anywhere, and even if I go somewhere, if I'm at the dog beach or something, I'll still do it what I planned. And so join me on Swahili Sunday for that. And that's about it for tonight. I hope you learned some good negotiation skills. If you kind of joined late, you can go back and play from the beginning. And I'm always teaching something about negotiation. If there's something, Meow Mix is still here. She's still here. Meow Mix, you're just such a spoiled cat. So anyway, that's about all for tonight. And here comes Gracie, and we're getting ready to have growling and hissing going on. Yeah, go eat we're going to the dog park soon. Have to take her to the dog park and let her run. So Gracie's my son's dog, but he's in Europe right now. And I'm like, well, you don't get her back when you come back. He's going to move to Redondo Beach, which is about 40 miles from me. I'm like, you can go. You can leave Gracie here. So I'm kind of attached to her. I'm going to cry when she goes. I was actually going to get one. She's a Malinois Shepherd. She's one of the, oh yeah, you got to go check out the dog bandanas. Go to basketsandbeadskenya.com and check out the dog bandanas because she's slurping the water right now. She's actually, you could probably, I don't know if it's picking up on the mic. If you hear something, it's her drinking a lot of water. She's chewing on a bully stick and it makes her thirsty. And she just ate her dinner. So anyway, if you have a dog, and we've sold quite a few of those actually. And the dog bandanas are really nice. I still have to upload a few more, but they're nice. They're selling well. They look good on dogs, but Gracie was modeling a lot of them. So you can see those on the website at basketsbeadskenya.com. It's right at the top in the shop. You click on shop and it says new dog bandanas, and you can see the styles. And it's right now small to extra large. And it has dimensions and such. So if you have a doggy, you want to fashionista or fashion up your doggy, do go to Baskets and Beads Kenya. And the ladies are excited that the bandanas are selling. They don't do that with their dogs in Kenya. Not too many people have dogs. Oh, there goes there. You probably saw that tail. That tail. That's Gracie right there. Her tail sticking up, and she needs to get out of there. Get out of there. She wants to go in the cat box. Thinks it's a smorgasbord. Don't get that. Anyway, so check that out, and I hope to see you on Swahili Sunday. Until then, have a great evening, and be kind. Be kind. That's the phrase of the week, month, and year. Be kind. Extra grace required for everybody these days. Have a good night. Nakupenda.